All right, random conversations. I was talking to somebody recently. We were talking about fasting, and every time I'm telling somebody because I fast, I fast a lot, and I do it for long periods of time. So like when it's not a diet thing when I'm doing it. It's just I fall in and out of it like everybody else. I ain't perfect, but I do it for like now I've been in the groove. I've been doing it for a few months. I generally why is my phone not on silent? Somebody's annoying me. But generally, oh, okay, cool. Generally, somebody needed my services. Before I got a chance to hit them back, they said they good. That's cool because I didn't want to do it anyway. I was gonna turn that down anyway. But what was I said? Lost track. So generally, I totally forgot what I was talking about. This is why you keep your phone on silent. Generally, people say, "Oh, so I was saying I always fast 16 hours a day, right?" And I'm just used to doing it. It's not easy every day, but generally it's just my routine. So I was saying it's not a diet. It's not something that I'm doing for this amount of time in 2-3 weeks, trying to lose 5 pounds. It's just what I do. It's just I try to do everything. It's just a lifestyle. Like it's just what I do. So when I'm explaining to people, and I've been doing this off and on for years. So I try to explain to people like, all right, it's not that hard, number one. The first thing people always say, I can't do it, I can't fast, I can't not eat that long. And I try to explain to them, well, I used to say the same thing. Everybody says it until you start doing it, but your body adapts. It's really mental because we're trained to think that we have to eat at a certain time, and our minds and our bodies get used to that. So of course in the beginning when you start fasting, you get weak, your head starts hurting, you get dizzy, whatever. You go through certain things, but your body quickly adjusts. And a lot of it is just you're getting rid of that chemical dependency. And once you get past that, you're fine. And it becomes more and more easier. But the thing is, once people start fasting, they realize, they notice so many changes. One of the first things is you notice your energy increases. Now, we all usually eat in order to have energy, but we don't realize the majority of the time we're eating the wrong things. It ends up making us sluggish. Then our body has to work because our body is working to constantly break this stuff down and process these foods to digest it. So our body is constantly working. When you're fasting, you're giving your body a time to rest and take on other things. So that's when you notice when people are sick and they try to get you to fast, it's part of the healing process because when your body isn't focusing on breaking down foods, digestion, it lets your body focus on other things. So it works on healing itself. Some of us don't know it, some of us forget that. So also, when you start fasting, you start realizing you have more energy. Your mind is clearer, your skin gets clearer, you sleep better, you wake up easier, you wake up more focused and ready to go. So you start noticing it's a whole bunch of other stuff that you start going through, and then when you start cutting out certain foods in your diet, you start noticing even more. So it's a whole process. But a lot of people just generally think, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. Our brains are wired to think I have to eat breakfast, I have to eat lunch, I have to eat a big dinner, and I have to snack in between. So your body never gets a chance to rest. Now think about what are you putting in your body at those times. Now you take breakfast, for instance. It's always been said that breakfast is the healthiest, most important meal of the day. That's not true. And for the most of the majority of my life, I didn't eat breakfast. And I always noticed I functioned for the most part great in the mornings. And when I ate, it would make me sluggish or make me tired. And even when I didn't know anything, I just said, nah, I don't, nah. But people used to always be there, you gotta eat breakfast, you gotta eat breakfast. So even a while, it started to get to me and I started doing it. And, a lot of times, think about what you give your kids, right? Or even a lot of us adults, we eat the wrong things in the morning. A lot of people eat donuts in the morning. That's not good. That's not healthy. You're eating a whole bunch of sugar. If you're eating cereal, you're eating milk, which isn't actually healthy, and it has a lot of sugar in it. And then you're eating cereal that has a ton of sugar in it. So you're basically loading your body up with sugar in the morning. That's where that energy is coming from. It's not actually real energy. You just ate a sugar bomb, basically. You're going to be hyped for a while, then you're going to crash. And you got no actual nutrients and any health benefits from that food. So it actually is tearing you down in the process. So a lot of times we're eating sandwiches and stuff. All that stuff is bread, a lot of salt and all this stuff. All that stuff is going to make you sluggish. It doesn't actually help you think. It doesn't help your body do what it needs to do. But we're all stuck in that mold. Then what do we do at lunchtime? We eat lunch at lunchtime, and we end up sluggish. Same thing at dinner. When your body is shutting down, a lot of us we get the itis, and we think it's a good thing. It's not. That's another thing. We've been programmed to think that's somehow a good thing. I cleared my whole plate, and now I want to fall asleep. We think that's something to cheer. It's not. That's your body is literally shutting down because it can't function, because you put something in it or too much of something in it, and it's shutting down. You're not falling asleep because the food was so good. It's just, no, your body is shutting down. That's not good. But we've been taught wrong. Growing up, it was always, you pile your plate up with all this food, you finish your plate. We was taught that as a kid, and it was something bad. You finish your plate, don't waste any food. That's not the way you're supposed to eat. You're actually supposed to eat until you're full. And your body tells you when you're full. We all know when we're full. You're full before you get stuffed. A lot of us, that's the indication of when we're full and we're done eating, because we're stuffed and we can't eat anymore. We have to undo our belt. We got to sit back. We got to take deep breaths. We start feeling like we're going to pass out. You went too far. Your body automatically gives you that cutoff point, but most of us don't listen to it. We've been taught wrong. So we got to start, getting back on point with just being in tune with our bodies and eating and doing things the right way. A lot of people don't even know drinking a little bit before you eat is said to help with digestion, but when you drink a lot of liquid with your food, it actually slows down the digestion. A lot of people don't realize that. So technically, we're not supposed to be drinking a whole lot of liquid when we're eating. Most of us do. I still do. There was a point when I wasn't doing that, though, and I noticed the difference. You digest better, your food goes down faster, you're not so bloated and heavy and all that. But, again, we're trained to do certain things. So back to just the fasting part, we realize that when you start fasting, you just start to notice all these different benefits. And you start to also realize that we don't need food as much as we thought we did. So I was saying before, and I tell people all the time, even now in the mornings sometimes, because I work nights, so in the mornings, I try to come home, and if I don't have anything to do in the morning, I try to come home and go to sleep right away, because half of the time at least, my brain is still thinking, I need to eat. And it's just this internal struggle that I go through, and I'm knowing, okay, it's better that I don't eat, here's the thing I was trying to get to. We're not always hungry when we say we're hungry. Most of the time, think about it, most of the time we go, I'm hungry. When you're hungry, you feel it. You start getting weak, might get a little dizzy, stomach starts growling. You're hungry, you need to eat. Your body is telling you it's time to get some food. We need nutrients. Most of the time, we're not hungry when we say we're hungry. We're just conditioned to think that we need food. So what do you do in the morning? Oh, I'm hungry, I gotta eat breakfast. You're not actually hungry. Lunchtime, oh, I'm hungry, I need to eat. Same thing with dinner. We're not actually, if you think about it, think about how you feel most of the time when you're about to eat and when you're literally saying, I'm hungry. When you start to pay attention, you start realizing, I'm not actually hungry. You start realizing the majority of the time throughout the day, you're not actually hungry. But we always say it, we always think it, so we eat. When you start fasting, you start realizing you need food less and less. You don't need food all the time. You start going long periods of time, you don't miss it. You're not thinking about it, and your energy is just fine. And also, there's times where you'll feel a little you'll go through a minute where, all right, my stomach hurts a little bit, I was growling, I need to eat. But if you give yourself 10 to 15 minutes and you just get past it, you start to realize you forget you was hungry. And your energy's still fine, you're doing what you're doing, you totally forget it, because that's another point where either your body is used to eating, so it's reacting, or there's times where your body really does need the food, but then if you don't eat, it starts pulling on your fat reserves for energy. So this is how you lose the weight, because instead of, okay, there's nothing in my food for me to break down and digest and pull nutrients from for energy, so I'm gonna go to the fat reserves. Technically, that's what your fat reserves are there for energy. It's just like bears and different animals that hibernate. They eat a whole lot, they get their calories up, and then they go to sleep for 2 and 3 months through the winter. And then they wake up, they're still good, they're still alive, they're still fresh. They've been sleeping, but they've been living off their fat reserves. And then what's the first thing they do when they get up? A bear, if you ever watched, like National Geographic, the first thing they do, they get up and start looking for food. They hungry. They got to get the energy back up. They haven't eaten for 2, 3 months. But this is our bodies are very similar to that. We can't go 2 and 3 months without eating, but we can go longer periods of time than we realize without needing food, not without being hungry. And again, like I said, when you're going through that, you realize your energy is still good, you're thinking clearer, you feel better, and you're like, damn, I really don't need food. And then once you start eating certain things, you start to notice even more what it does to your body. So then you start to pay attention, like, wait, I'm not gonna eat this again, because as soon as I ate this, I got a headache. Or as soon as I ate it, my heart started beating, or I got real sluggish and tired and got unfocused. And you start realizing, oh, that's what this food is doing to me. Then it makes you want to go find healthier things, because then when you start eating healthier things, you realize you don't get that same effect from it. And then you realize, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be eating. See, another thing is we forget or don't know, when we eat, it's supposed to make us feel good. It's not supposed to make us heavy and weighed down and bloated and full. It's not supposed to make us weak and tired. It's supposed to give us energy so we can keep going. But we don't eat the right things. We all eat all this processed stuff that has actual no nutrients and is doing all this harmful stuff, but we're so used to it. When you start cutting those things out, and you actually, like just recently, for the first time in my life, I started eating salads. I couldn't deal with salads my whole life. All of a sudden now I started eating salads and making them myself. It's like the best thing on earth to me. And I pack it up with all this all this natural stuff. Nothing needs to be cooked. I put all greens, nuts, and seeds in. All the stuff that I used to say even when I was getting healthy, I can't do all that. Okay, I'm not doing it. Now I'm doing that, and I absolutely love it. And I don't feel weighed down. I don't feel tired and sluggish. I don't feel crazy after I eat these things. I'm not bloated, none of those things. I'll turn around, one day and eat a pizza out of the blue, and I'm like, damn, this is why I don't eat this anymore. You just trust me. Just start dabbling with it. You will thank me. Just trust me. Just get the mental part out of your head where you're telling yourself you can't do something, because you can do it. And especially if you see somebody a lot of us, we see people around us doing it and we say, oh, I can't do it. Why? Why you can't do it if this person's doing it? Why you can't do it if everybody else doing it? That's just like saying, well, if this house burned down, I can't run out of here because I'm not fast. So everybody else is going to make it out of here, but I can't do it. So I'm just going to sit here. Everybody else around me is going to work every day. I can't do it. I don't want to work hard. I don't want money. I can't do it. It doesn't make any sense. So, don't say it when it comes to things that can benefit you. Don't say you can't do it. Give it a shot. The same way you've been trained to do certain things, you can retrain yourself not to do certain things. You just have to understand that. I don't want to talk too long. I feel like I've been talking forever as it is. Please, let's finish this conversation in the comment section. Let me know how you feel. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your insight. Let me know your experiences. Till next time, stay focused, stay fit. Please hit that like button, show your support. Definitely hit that notification bell so the next time I'm doing these random conversations, you will be alerted and you can get in on the conversation. Salute.